Welcome to tonight's coaching video, gentlemen. Have a brilliant article to share with you tonight from a woman who is tired of being called damaged goods. And that is actually the title of her article here. She says, if you, mister, call a woman used goods, it's damaged goods. If you call a woman used goods, you are not a good man. You evil little man, you. You're not good if you call us damaged. Even though we slept around throughout our entire 20s and continue to sleep around with random men on dating apps and get all used up, you can't say that to us, okay? You can't say that to tell us we have no value. So essentially, her article here is saying, if you call her damaged goods, you're not a good man. And then her subcaption here says, I'm so sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of hearing women being told they're all used up. Of course, this is from a purpled hair feminist over here. Do not message her, by the way. Keep your comments below. Drop the comments below. That's what the channel is for. But of course, she is some purple-haired feminist that is going to spout this nonsense and tell men or try to shame men into stop calling her damaged goods that is all used up. And yes, that is Cash kind of snoring back there. I'm over here at the Hyatt Regency in Orange County, one of my favorite hotels, trying to bang out a few coaching videos for you guys, and this is one of them. So let's jump into the story. So basically, she's saying that she's tired of being told she's all used up and being told that she's damaged goods. So what she is really saying is she wants men to essentially be dishonest with her. She wants men to be untruthful with her. She doesn't want men telling her what's factual, that she is DG, but instead she wants them to pretend that she never banged all these random dudes and that she's a good woman and she still has value to give, even though any man who gets involved with her would be absolutely crazy and out of his mind. But let's jump into her story and see what she has to say here. Has a photo of a woman looking out at this mountaintop, which many women will, that's really all you'll have to look forward to if you don't get married and find a husband. Your nights will be filled, your days will be filled with doing things that don't matter. All right. As a writer, I block and report, this is her. As a writer, I block and report people who blatantly, misogynistically make remarks about me and my writing. So already she's saying that she will block and report anyone who blatantly says anything misogynistic about her or her writing. So essentially she wants to be a writer, but she can't handle any criticism. Right? That's like saying, I want to start a YouTube channel, but no, I'm going to report every single one of you who ever tries to call me out on my lies. Any single one of you ever tried to criticize me, I'm reporting it. Almost all of them involve calling me crazy or slut-shaming. Could there be a reason for that, honey? Could there be a reason that you're getting so many of these comments and people are telling you you're batshit crazy and are slut-shaming you for sleeping around with more guys than a prostitute? One of the most common ones I hear is that no man, quotation, no man wants to be with used up women. That is true. What do you not like about that? That is a fact. Every single guy on the planet, whether he's red pill, especially red pill, even the blue pill guys that I've talked to, do not want a woman who has been with lots and lots of dudes. I don't know why that's so hard for these chicks to understand. We don't want women who've been around the block, period. We want women with low mileage, not high mileage. Sometimes it's said as benevolent advice from a right-wing conservative. Okay, so automatically, because we don't want women who sleep around, we're right-wing conservatives, right? We're like alt-right wing. Other times, it's some smug jackass who wants women to feel undesirable just because he's a bully. It's just because he's a bully. Other times, still, it's because a guy feels called out by the article and wants to retaliate. No, we just want to get to the truth. I mean, guys are not retaliating on you, like women retaliate just because their egos were stroked the wrong way and they need to get back at you and sabotage you. No, guys aren't like that. We just want to get to the truth, honey. Regardless, I feel something has to be said about this. Aside from the fact that I'll block, and she has to go back to that and reinforce the fact that aside from the fact that I'll block and report people who I feel say hate speech. So essentially what hate speech is to her is the truth, right? Hate speech to her, like any other left-wing nut job, is anything that I disagree with is hate speech. Anything I don't like is racist. Anything that it doesn't make me feel better about myself is misogynistic. They're such cream puffs. So she says, if you are a man who tells women they're used up, aka damaged goods, which she says herself, or anything like that, or that they hit the wall, you, mister, are not a good man. She goes on to say, good men do not base their whole dating decision on a woman's number or age. So essentially, if you're a good man, you do not base your decision on dating a woman on the amount of guys she slept with or how old she is. You know who does do that? High value men. High value men with options, Osana. Because high value men with options who can easily get a 21-year-old who has not had more than 1 or 2 sexual partners, if not 0. Oh yeah, actual virgin, they do exist. Men who can get those type of women do not need to settle for you, who is 10, 15 years older and who has 100 times more the body count and really has nothing else to offer. She's being ridiculous here with her analogy. She's essentially saying, okay, if you're a good man and you have a choice between the 2022 Lamborghini and the 1992 Toyota Corolla, if you choose the Lamborghini over the Corolla, you're not a good man. Okay, what's wrong with that Corolla? It's a car. It runs just the same. No, honey, there's a big difference. Okay? Gigantic difference. It doesn't make you a bad man to have preferences. Okay? It doesn't make you a bad man to choose to have standards, to choose what's best for you. Just like I'm pretty sure Osana here, the hypocrite that she is, why aren't you dating some fat slob who lives in his mom's basement, who doesn't have any money, and who's like 45, 50 years old? Why don't you date that guy? Oh, does that make you a bad woman? No, it just means that you have standards, okay? It means you have preferences. So, again, like most of these woke egomaniacs, she fails to see her own hypocrisy. She just doesn't like the fact that high-value men don't want her. When we get down to the truth here, she just doesn't like the fact that men are now ignoring her because she made the mistake of riding the carousel in her 20s. She used up her youth, and now she has nothing left to offer except a completely asinine point of view and these ridiculous writings of hers. So let's go on here. Can we get rid of the myth that men don't marry promiscuous women? No, men don't want to marry promiscuous women. The only men that do is because they have to. They have no choice. They don't have options. They don't have selection. You know what we call those, Alsana? We call those low-value men. Okay? They are low-value men because they don't have options. High-value men do. So we don't have to settle for promiscuous women. Okay? We just don't. There's no point in that. Why? Why? Because ex-porn star Jenna Jameson married a billionaire. What does that prove? It just means the guy's an idiot and he's blue pill. Of course. How's the saying go? There's a sucker born every day. There you go. He just happens to have $1 billion. Look at Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon. That guy's an idiot too. He just made his ex-wife one of the richest women on the planet through their divorce. She didn't build anything. She didn't create Amazon. She just got his money. So yeah, there are a lot of dumbasses out there because they didn't find the red pill. Could have saved them millions, if not billions of dollars if they just watched some of this content. Porn stars often end up marrying billionaires and well-off men. So you're saying you're a porn star? Is that what you're saying? Are you equating yourself to a porn star? I would love to debate this chick. I would destroy her. It would be like Mike Tyson fighting an ant. You know why wealthy men are okay with marrying women who've been around the block? It's because they've probably looked at the whole woman, personality and smarts, and realized she's a decent person. Oh, and shocker, guys who marry women who have a sexual past tend to be confident, well-rounded, who have emotional intelligence. They kind of have to be that way to handle a woman who's been there. They don't need to control a woman's body to feel superior or happy. They don't view women as a threat. That's what makes them good men. No, Oksana, that's what makes them stupid men, pitiful men, pathetic men, dumb men. Because these guys, essentially men who did not realize their value. You could have all the money in the world and not realize your value, right? Because you've had harpies like yourself over here implanting it into these guys' heads that they have to settle. When you yourself are not willing to settle, what's her name? Oceana? I keep calling her Osana. That's easier. We'll just keep calling her Osana. Osana, you yourself would not settle for a guy who's 50 or 60 years old, that has nothing else to offer, living in his mom's basement, is a total incel. Why aren't you dating that guy? Because, is he a bad man? Because if you don't want to date him, that makes you a bad woman, right? According to her ridiculous logic here, lack of logic, I should say. So she's essentially saying that she's slept around, and she's upset with the fact that no billionaire has come around who's been dumb enough to marry her. That's what she's saying in her little rant here. Okay, and then she's also saying. I just want to make one point before we move on with her article. She says it's probably because the billionaire, looked at the whole woman, personality and smarts included, and realized she's a decent person. There is so much contradiction in that one statement, Osana, that the guy looked at the whole woman. No, if he looked at the whole woman, he'd realize that she is a tramp. She's for the streets. She is impulsive. She's slept around. She can't control herself. She's immoral. She has no morals. Probably grew up with a single mother. So yeah, she's not that smart. And I mean, if she was, she wouldn't have slept with that many guys and ruined her SMV. She wouldn't have ruined her life by banging all these different dudes. Her personality, if she had personality, obviously some dude would have married her off, right? If she had a good personality and good character traits. I've often said a lot of women who are good women, they get snatched up really fast, guys. They get snatched up in their very early 20s. I've seen it happen, and I will feature one on my channel here pretty soon that I found on YouTube. I'll feature her and her husband, just at least clips of them. I don't know if I can get them on, but I'll feature at least clips of them from their YouTube channel. They have over 1 million subscribers, and she would be my definition of a good woman. She's wholesome. She didn't sleep around. She got married at a young age. They have a family. They're in their early 20s, and they're happy, right? And she got snatched up like that, as many good women do. You don't even have to be that good looking. You could get snatched up like that if you're just a good woman. That's what guys want, is a good woman. So you claiming that you're a decent person after claiming that, this hypothetical woman that you're talking about here has banged in essentially the entire world. No, that's not a decent person. That's an immoral person. That's a person who needs help. That's a person who needs to see a psychologist. That's not a person who should be walking around free and who should be giving advice to other women. But let's go on with what she has to say here. Good men see women as people, not objects. No, male or female, we see somebody and the first thing we see are their looks, and essentially everybody is just an object to you until you get to know that person, and it's until they start to show that they have a personality, that maybe you might have some things in common. That's how you get beyond being seen as an object, right? This happens for both men and women. So it doesn't make you a bad person that you see a stranger who you've never met in your life, who's not part of your family or social tribe, as an object. It's like, no, this is just a person just walking by, or a person crossing the street. I don't know them. So yeah, they're just an object. I don't even know that person's name. This chick is completely retarded. So she goes on to say, guess what, fellas? If you say this, S-H-I-T, you're also saying women are objects. We're goods. We're nothing to you, and we know that. If you saw us as people, you'd realize that we are more than a sex number. I mean, this chick is just really highlighting with just her writing alone why people call her damaged goods. Why people say she's used up. This is why she's getting those comments, and because she doesn't like it, she's gonna report you and cite you for hate speech because you're telling her things that are truthful. Some of the most promiscuous people I've met. Again, she's self-projecting, so obviously this is her. This is her. She can't keep her legs closed. She just has really outdone herself with the amount of dudes who she's hopped in a sack with. Now she's trying to relieve herself of any responsibility or accountability whatsoever and claim that she could still pair bond with a high-value male, if not a billionaire. No, you can't. And there's science on that as well. I wish these chicks would actually do their research. When the woman has more than 10 sexual partners, forget it. All bets are off. There's a 33% there's a 33% more chance of her essentially destroying that relationship. Why would you even place any bets on a woman like that? It says some of the most promiscuous people I've met have been the best people I've met. They're funny, they're caring, and they give the world to their partners. They're female, male, and everything in between. That is just statistically untrue. I just gave you the statistic. So that is factually and statistically a lie, what she's saying here. It doesn't mean they're not funny or they can't care about people or, try to treat their partners well, but they ultimately will fail. That's what the study says. You will ultimately fail at that because you just have this penchant to just constantly lily pad to another guy and another partner. You can't function. If you see women as used or unused goods, she says, or believe that they stop being attractive at 40, well, we believe you stop being attractive at 25 if we really get down to it. I mean, again, the studies prove this, that a woman's looks decline after the age of 25. You will never see the beauty of a woman's soul, mister. To do that, you need to see the person they are. So she's saying if you see women as used or unused goods or believe they stop being attractive at 40, you will never see the beauty of a woman's soul. No, you won't, because that woman should be married. And I don't look at married women. I don't approach married women, and you should be married at that age. And if you're not married, you're unmarried, you're completely invisible to me, even more so. Because why are you still single at 40? What are you doing? How come you haven't, again, I mean, I hate to go back to this reference, but it's like dating a woman over 30, especially at the age of 40, guys. It's like getting to a Walmart Black Friday sale 3 weeks late or 4 weeks late. When you get there 3 or 4 weeks late, what is going to be left? Nothing but damaged goods. Right? Nothing but defective items. Nothing but incomplete items, right? That are missing the instructions or missing different parts that they're now selling for pennies on the dollar. You know why that's all that's left after 3 or 4 weeks of a Black Friday sale? It's because everybody who rampages on the very first day, within the very first hour, who lines up the night before and gets in that cold, long-ass line to break in there, wanting to get their TVs, and they want to get a good price on televisions, electronics, computers, laptops, cell phones. Those people are grabbing the best stuff, right? Those are the things that are the most wanted. Anything that nobody wants is going to stay there. Nobody's going to buy it, and it's going to end up on the clearance racks, and it's just going to sit there. Okay? It doesn't mean that you're not seeing into the soul of this product. You're not really seeing the value of this product. No, all you're seeing that there is no value in it. Nobody else wanted it, and neither do I. Women don't grieve. She goes on to say, women don't grieve the loss of men who see them like a piece of fruit or for consumption. The fact that so many of you will never see this in women hurts you more than it hurts them. What? Women don't grieve the loss of men who see them like a piece of fruit or consumption. we don't care. If we see you as somebody who has damaged goods, if we see you as a used up single mom, we just don't care. We don't think about you. We don't give you a second thought. Guys, when you see a chick who's like overweight, some aging harpy who's like some loudmouth feminist on the street, are you still like, are you grieving the loss of her? Like, you know, do you miss seeing that person? No, you don't care. You don't care. We have better things to do, unlike Oksana here. The fact that this hurts you, I mean, obviously she's like, the fact this hurts many of you will hurt you more than it hurts them. Obviously it's hurting her. Okay, let's go on with her article. Good men don't disparage women for their past. Again, oh my gosh. This is like saying, you know what, all of these banks that don't want to loan to people with a 300 credit score, who've had multiple bankruptcies and who never pay their bills on time, and who continue to take out loans that they can't afford to pay back. No, they're still good people, right? They should still be loaned to. They should still be given a chance. No, there's a reason why if you have a crap-ass credit score, it reflects on your lack of ability to pay your bills on time. It reflects on your irresponsibility. It reflects on the fact that you have no financial discipline. No different than women who have a past filled with lots of men, random men, men that are no longer in their lives, many men that want nothing to do with them, including the guys who knocked them up and produced a kid with. Unreal. She essentially wants men, like high value men, to look the other way, not judge her on her past, even though her past speaks volumes like a credit report, right? That would be insane. That would be like a bank lending millions of dollars to somebody with a piss poor credit score that has never ever paid back and that has shown nothing but financial irresponsibility, bankruptcies, fraud, you know, has been engaged in like fraud, and I can't even believe she's actually sitting there bold-faced trying to spout this nonsense. Everyone has a past, including you. That's true. Everybody does have a past, but not everybody has slept around like you have. A person's past isn't in their control in the present. Here we go again with the lack of responsibility, the lack of accountability with these chicks. She's basically saying a person's past isn't in their control in the present. This is why you fix things that you've done, the mistakes you've made in the past. Otherwise, you're bound to make them again. Any self-improvement book will tell you that. Tony Robbins will tell you that. But what she is doing here is just telling me that she is not learning from her mistakes. Because you know how you learn from your mistakes, guys? You own them. You own your mistakes. You go, yes, that's what I did wrong. I've got to fix this. Just like my ex from 2006, right? To beat a dead horse. I knew I wasn't just blaming her. I knew the mistakes I made. I went, hey, I was too blue pill. I rewarded her bad behavior. I shouldn't have done this, this, and this. And you know what I did, guys? I fixed it. And you know what? Guess what? I have not been dumped since. I have not had any woman walk up to me and dump me since 2006. I've not been in any relationship where the girl has ended it. It's always been me having to get rid of these girls because they won't go away, or it's just over. I'm over it, and I can't get rid of them. They won't break up with me. And, you know, if this was the me from 2000, if I could go back in 2006 and I had the same persona I do now, no, that chick would still be with me today, but that's fine. I don't care. I don't want her back. I mean, she showed her true colors, and we all move on. But that's how we learn from our mistakes. That's my point. We own it, right? We have to own our mistakes and take accountability for the wrongdoings that we did, which I have not seen Oksana here ever blame herself a single time in this article so far, right? Has she one time, even a single time, admitted any fault? No, it's all the men's fault. It's the men's fault for not seeing me as this good person, not seeing into my soul, not seeing in through my past. Well, why don't you own some of that and admit when you're wrong and say, hey, these are the things I did wrong and I need to fix? Because all you're telling me is you're never going to fix these things and you're going to continue to make these mistakes. So any guy who gets with you, the train wreck that you are, the nightmare that you are, I feel absolutely horrible for. You know, I feel sorry for. She goes on to say, past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Actually, they do. Actually, they do. If you don't decide to change that, if you don't own, again, going back to what I just said, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I'm like, I'm losing my patience with this chick. I don't even know her. I'm just trying to read her article for the benefit of you guys. She's saying past results don't guarantee future outcomes, as they say in the world of investing. So why dwell on it? Yeah, in the world of investing, because you learn from your mistakes. But you can't learn from your mistakes if you don't think you've made any mistakes, Osana. And she clearly doesn't think she made any mistakes here. She hasn't owned a single thing. Unfrickin' real. This is the type of chick that would like get smacked and I just wouldn't have any reaction. Unless the person in question seriously hurt someone, there is no reason to judge someone based on their past. So clearly she has a problem with being judged on her past. A lot of guys have judged her on her past, and now she's writing this article like so upset that people keep judging on her past, but yet she refuses to fix anything or take any accountability on any level. The world does not work that way, Asana. It does not work that way. You cannot just spout these things and expect the world to cater to you. You're not a child. Well, she acts like one. This is doubly true when it comes to bedroom activities between consenting adults. When guys talk down at women over their past, it does nothing but hurt women's feelings, which I honestly think is their intention. Most times, no, it's not their intention. Most guys just are sick of women like you who don't take responsibility for anything, and they just feel no remorse in letting you have it. But here's the thing. That's not what a good person does. It doesn't make you a bad person, Asana, if you tell somebody the truth. If you're trying to have an honest discussion with somebody, a mature adult discussion, it doesn't make you a bad person. But what does make you a bad person is lying to them, bullshitting them, just because you don't want to make them feel bad, just so they can keep living in this delusional fantasy that you want to live in. That's what makes you a bad person, is being dishonest, being vile, and just not being upfront with them. A good person lifts people up. If he has the thoughts about a person's bedroom activities, he keeps them to himself rather than use it as verbal ammo. Again, a good person, you know what? Anybody can lift somebody up, but if they're being dishonest about it, that does not make them a good person. For her, in her like warped ass mind, she thinks essentially lying to her makes you a good person. Not ever making her feel bad makes you a good person. Being dishonest with her makes you a good person. No, not by any stretch of the imagination. She's crazy. She's absolutely out of her mind. This is why I tell you guys, do not date these women. They are so damaged. This is so reflective of older women over 30. This is so reflective of them. I am not even surprised why so many of them are on antidepressants, because they can't handle the truth, right? If you can't handle the truth, what do? Just turn to drugs. That's what they do. Here she goes on to say, saying that a woman is damaged or used up shows your true intentions. We don't have any intentions when we say this, Osana. All we're doing is just trying to be real with you and not give you falsehoods. A man who says a woman is damaged or too used up by other men shows that he doesn't want a partner. Yeah, we don't want a damaged partner. You get it? He wants a person he can use and consume for his own benefit. That's effing disgusting. Guys, help me out here, man. I mean, she can't even get through a single sentence of being honest with herself. She is completely just wants to stay in the state of cognitive dissonance because she doesn't want to face her own past actions, right? She doesn't want to face her own misdeeds that she knows deep down were wrong. She doesn't have the mental maturity to face things that she did that she knows were wrong and just admit they were wrong and just go, hey, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. She cannot say that. Like most women, they just can't admit when they're wrong. Instead, everything is the other person's fault. And she's saying here, a man who who says a woman's damaged or too used up shows that they don't want a partner. Yeah, we just don't want somebody who's been used up or damaged, somebody who's slept around, somebody who's been around the block. He wants a person he can use and consume for his own benefit. No, that's what the guys that you had sex with who banged you did. They used you and consumed you for your own benefit. Those are the bad men, right? Those are the men that are no longer in your life. Okay, those are the men that you are talking about here. It is not the men that are avoiding you. Those are good men, because those guys want actual relationships with women. They want women who will stick around, who will not monkey branch on them, who will not sleep with their best friends or their bosses behind their backs, right? These are what these guys want, and here you are saying they're trying to use and consume these women for their benefit. No, they just want a normal, healthy, functional relationship with a good woman who has not slept around, period. And it's clear, like, you just want them to look the other way, essentially, or just shame or name call them if they don't want to date you, who's obviously been used up. She goes on to say, I can't help but notice that the men who say this have no problem having sex with women. Yeah, good women. Why is that? Simple. Because men who say this view themselves as consumers. It's not an experience. It's them using women as glorified masturbation. She's totally self-rejecting here. Osana, these are exactly the guys. What you're describing here are exactly the guys who used you. These are the guys who took advantage of you. These are the guys that you spread your legs for. These are these bad boys that you couldn't get enough of. Just give it to me. Give it to me. You know, these are these guys. Don't conflate these with good guys who are just trying to find a good relationship with a decent woman who has not spread her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Harry in town. She says, men who say this, S-H-I-T, also tend to have a toxic set of double standards that hold no water in real science or psychology. Well, clearly, she doesn't either. This tends to make them abusive by default. Women are growing wise to the fact that the type of men who say this tend to be abusive towards women. It's a pattern that comes so much clearer with every dating horror story women share. For the gazillionth time, she's projecting the exact type of guys, the abusive guys, that she herself has let between her legs and yak up in every hole on her body, inside every hole in her body. These are these guys, Osana. You're describing the guys that you date to a perfect T. These are not the guys that normal women date, like healthy women. No, these are the kind of guys that damage women like you yourself attract. Because at the end of the day, like attracts like. Okay, she is completely out of her mind when she's talking about real science or psychology, which she clearly has not done. I have done the research, and I've read all the books on this and seen the data, and she clearly has not. Okay, she goes on to say here, women don't want men who think they're used up. Don't worry, they don't want you. I mean, you've got to be completely ludicrous to not see that. The guys who think you're used up and damaged goods don't want you, honey. They don't want you. The only guys that want you are the guys that are banging you now, that are telling you exactly what you want to hear, that are not being honest with you, that are just like filling you up with all of these untruths so they can get between your legs. She says here, I honestly don't care if men don't want a woman who's more experienced than them. That's on them, and personal preferences are fine. But calling us used up or damaged goods and saying that we'll never find a good man is abuse, and it's categorically wrong. Oh, my Lord, man. Oh, my Lord. This chick is a handful, guys. This chick is somebody you would just want to, like, punt 50 yards. I can't even believe she's being... I mean, should almost be a comedy skit for gaslighting. These chicks, they reach a level of damage where they just start gaslighting other people because it just keeps them from having any accountability whatsoever. But she's literally saying here that calling her damaged, used up, and that she'll never find a good man, which is all factually true, is abuse. And it's categorically wrong. No, what you did to yourself throughout your 20s, honey, that is abuse. Okay, that's what's categorically wrong. Go look in your mirror. If you want to see who the real abuser is in your life and the person who's really like screwed things up in your life and has effed you over, go to your nearest mirror in your bathroom and have a conversation with that person, because that's who did this to you. Men who place a heavy emphasis on a woman's age or number of partners are not good men. They're usually pretty crappy, shitty, and they don't really like women. They just like what women can provide. For the zillionth self-projection here, she's talking about unbelievable. The guys that she was with, heavy emphasis on a woman's age or the number of partners that she's had. That means that we have standards, Osana. Okay? That just means we have standards that we are not willing to settle less for. It doesn't make us bad men. It makes us smart men. It makes us good men, high-value men. The type of men that other women who have not slept around with as much as you have, don't have as high a body count as you have, typically gravitate towards. Women know that they want men who are truly good and not seething with hate towards them. They don't want a guy who might wake up one day and decide he's used up his girl and it's time to move on. Here's our last statement, guys. I will block comments from whiners who want to tell me I'm wrong about this. This is why this chick stays in this state of delusion. She will not listen to anyone else's opinion except her own, or anyone who doesn't agree with her. This is the problem with leftists in general. This is a problem with feminists. This is a problem with the woke mafia. They don't want to sit down and have a discussion with anyone who doesn't spout their exact ideas, right? And she's no different. She's got the purple hair like any feminist would. They're no different. They cannot handle the truth. They're just a bunch of big babies. They're losers. They're crybabies. And they're self-projectors. And they're professional gaslighters. I feel like this whole article was one big gaslighting piece on men. The fact that she's sitting here and saying she's going to block comments from whiners. The only one whining here is her, who want to tell me I'm wrong about this. I mean, she's not even willing to have a discussion. She just wants to spout her opinion and then go away. That's my opinion. All that matters to me. This is just NPD in its purest form. Narcissistic personality disorder. Yes, Osana, you are damaged goods, for the record. Yes, you're used up. And yes, you're just absolutely crazy, out of your mind. I really, truly feel sorry for any guy who even gets within 10 feet of you. I feel sorry for any guy who reads this article. I'm feeling sorry for myself. And then she finally closes up with, and frankly, if this article made you angry, it may be time to look in the mirror. Oh my God. I can't believe she's saying this. If this article made you angry, she wants you to look in the mirror. Osana, we've been saying this the whole article. You, for once in your life, Osana, go look in your own mirror. Take your own advice. Take your own advice. Osana, take your own advice. You might have to ask yourself why a woman's history or her age makes you so angry. It doesn't make men angry, sweetie. It's making you angry. Do you see that? You're the one writing this article. It's making you angry. The fact that men are judging you based on the high amount of dudes that you've had sex with, and the fact that you're past your prime, you're in your 30s, maybe even your 40s, probably your 40s. The fact that men have standards is what's making you angry. The fact that they're choosing 22-year-old hot traditional girls that have low body counts over you, who are twice their age, who have 100 times the body count, it's making you angry. Do you understand that? It's not men don't care. I don't care about these women who are my age or older than me that I'm choosing not to date because my girl's 21 years old and she only slept with one dude before me, her high school boyfriend. I'm not thinking about you, who's like my age and has slept around with the world I don't care what you do. It doesn't make me angry, right? It doesn't make any guy angry. It's making you angry. The only person getting angry here is you, Osana, and other women like you who can't stand it that men have preferences, right? Of course, like I said, if you were to tell her, why aren't you dating some incel who's your age, who's living in his mom's basement, stop being a hypocrite. Why are you so angry? Why didn't you go date that guy? Because that's what you are. You're just one big walking contradiction. You're a hypocrite. You're a liar. You're even lying to yourself. Don't want to hear the truth. You're a loser. I'm done with this article, guys. Drop your comments below. This has been the worst experience reading content for you guys. I mean, this is like the most cognitive dissonance I've ever seen in a woman, and God help any of you ladies that have the mindset of this retard over here that we just covered. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's article, and anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share that I missed, drop them in the comments below. And I hope you guys smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell as well. It helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And after me just pushing through this article, as difficult as it was, I did. So smash like, subscribe, and notification bell for me. And for you guys who want to support my work and all this red pill content I'm teaching you, best way to support my work is to jump into 7 months of mastery. Right now it's only $1 for the entire first month. And this is where I teach you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, most beautiful looking women on the planet. Not these damaged, purple hair feminist harpies over 40 like Osana here, who can't even take the simple accountability for her own past actions and wants you to take accountability for it, wants you to ignore it. And if you don't, you're a bad man, you're evil, you use women. No, I teach you how to avoid these type of women in 7 months of mastery. Instead, to go for women half her age who are good, traditional, with low body counts, who haven't slept around with the world, and who want to be in a relationship with you, and who don't hate men clearly like she does. Jump into 7 months mastery. It's the best way to support my work, guys. All you need to do is click the link below in my description box. It will take you over my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds, so do that now. And I'll see you in my next coaching video. Bam, I'm out. Thank God.